Hey, Ione here from 30 Ever After. Okay, so I hear from so many of you guys that you're just kind of sick of online dating and you really want to meet someone in real life but don't really know where to go. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 creative ways for you to meet singles. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one is dog walking. So ever since I got Fudge, I realized how many opportunities there are to meet people, not only to meet singles, but just to meet people in general. Because when you're walking your dog, you tend to talk to other dog owners because the dogs want to play with each other, they want to say hi. So naturally, you just get into this conversation and you really start to get to know people. And within this mix, not all of them are singles, of course, but you will meet single people, single guys, single women who have a dog. So that's an excellent way to bond, and I've actually know of a few people who've met at the dog park. How cute. You get exercise at the same time, your dog is happy, and you get to meet singles, potentially. So if you don't have a dog, I always say just go and borrow one from a friend. That's what I've suggested to one of my single friends, for her to just take my dog for a walk, get to know the neighborhood, do it with some consistency so that she goes, for example, every Friday or Saturday morning. That way she gets to meet the same kind of dog owners, because those chances are people who own dogs have a similar routine. So dog walking is number 1. Number 2, lobbies in buildings. Now I totally underestimated this, but until I realized, I walked in an office the other day, and it was a building in the city, and I was just sitting in the lobby just hanging out, and I realized how many attractive people there were. Again, it's not guaranteed that all of them are going to be single, but if you hang out in the lobbies often enough, you'll kind of catch people within the same routine, reading a paper, grabbing a coffee, and then that's when you can potentially strike up a conversation. That's for another video. So lobbies where there is like high traffic of people are a really good place to meet people. Number 3, workshops and lessons. So what I love about this is you are indulging in self-improvement, you're learning something new, and you're potentially making new friends and meeting new singles. So what I always suggest is to find a hobby that's more gender neutral. So if you are going to pick up a hobby, for example, don't go to yoga, don't go to Pilates, because if you're trying to meet guys, you'll hardly meet any at an event like that. So by gender neutral, I mean a photography class or a dance class or a painting class, even. Something that will draw both genders, really. So I quite like cooking classes, photography lessons, and even hiking clubs, and volleyball. Volleyball in the summer here is a fantastic way to meet new singles. Okay, my next one is one that I personally had success with. It's on your commute. So when you're on the same routine every day, you bump into the same people. And I know of so many people who've met just on a commute, and same with me. The trick with meeting people in a commute is pick a time and pick a carriage or pick a mode of transport so it's consistent, so that you're seeing people every single day, the same people. For example, when I met someone on the bus, it was one bus that took me to the business park every day, so you really only had 2 options. So I bumped into the same people every single day, and eventually we started to strike up a conversation. Now, caveat is, it gets really awkward when it doesn't work out, because you only have 2 buses to choose from. So if it doesn't work out, you're bound to bump into them. But having that consistency meant that I was seeing the same people every day, and I was able to build rapport and a relationship. The next one is something that another single friend of mine brought to my attention. Singles events are apparently making a comeback. And it's because people are so sick of meeting other singles online that they'd rather just meet in person, do the speed dating thing, chat to them for 2 minutes, and if it's a hit, if it's a match, great. They don't have to spend time chatting, texting back and forth. They can just set up the date. And it really depends on which singles events you go to, but I find that some in Sydney, in the city especially, are quite good. So what you want to look for in a singles event is, how does it work? Do you meet people? Is it just like a singles mixer, or do you get 5 minutes with each person, like a speed dating thing? I personally like the structure of speed dating. That means you get to chat to every single person in the room, whereas in singles mixers, I think people tend to cluster in clumps and they kind of just stick together. So you want to look for the structure of the singles event, and then another thing you want to look for is what kind of singles that want to attract. Just like in online dating, some apps attract a certain type of people, so professionals, and some apps attract people who are just looking to hook up. So you really want to dig into what these events are promising, what kind of singles they attract. So these are the 5 more creative ways for you to meet someone without using an online dating app. If you've tried any one of these, and if you have any more ideas, leave me a comment. And as usual, if you like these videos, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.